All right, Peyton, welcome on to the Pure Tennis vlog. Excited to get you on and chat about the NCAA tournament. I've been following along. Wish I was down in Orlando. How's everything? You guys Final Four bound. It's exciting. Great freshman year. Yeah, go ahead and just talk about the week you guys have had so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty long week. We got down here last Tuesday. Quick turnaround from the first 2 rounds back in Austin. But, it's just been a lot of fun. It's kind of been like a progress with the team, match by match. And our off days, it's just like tough practices, being together. The men are playing right now, and we were fortunate enough to go watch them play the doubles and some of the singles. And I think they're up right now, so.
How cool is that? I mean, you as a freshman, you guys have both your teams in the Final Four or potential Final Four. You guys are all down in Orlando. Are you guys pretty tight knit as a kind of both teams? You guys kind of intermingle a little bit?
Yeah, we are. I just feel like, we show up to their matches, they show up to our matches. And not only that, like back in Austin, it's not like we pass a hallway, it's just like hi bye. Like we know what's going on with them. We don't get to practice with each other, but we still have fun together. So
I heard they're scared of you guys. They don't want to do any of those practice matches. They don't want to do a match with you guys.
They don't want this forehand either.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I was excited to get you on. I've been following you, just obviously being from Cincinnati. Both of us are from here, and now I'm working with Tennis Points media and stuff. So I was like, it's pretty cool. We've had a lot of talent come out of the city in the last 4 or 5 years. You have a little brother as well who I talked to his coach, Jimmy Brandon. So, yeah, the pipeline kind of continues. Talk about just like why – let's just back up. Why did you choose Texas initially? I know there was kind of a debate of whether or not you were even going to go to college in general. You were homeschooled in high school. Talk about your decision of becoming a Longhorn.
It honestly was a really tough process. The recruiting was, loved everyone. It was such a tough choice, but I think in the end it just came down to who I trusted my game with the most, and who was going to get me to my goal with tennis. And not only that, you take the Tirati twins when I was being recruited, I see them at every single pro event possible that they can go to. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to travel to these tournaments during, the off season, even during season if possible. And also my mom went here. So, I mean, that didn't really play a big role, but in the end, it was kind of like alumni thing. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of
cool. Build onto that legacy is pretty special, I imagine.
Yeah.
So you were homeschooled. I just was always curious on like that route. Like, what were the biggest benefits of being homeschooled and kind of pursuing this dream of yours of kind of chasing this tennis, becoming hopefully potentially a professional as you already have a WTA ranking and such?
Honestly, I'd go to high school if I could.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about the practices or anything. It was mostly about missing days of school and going to tournaments. When you're going to week-long tournaments, you can't miss 3 weeks in a row of school. Like, I wanted to go to Ursuline, and they're like, you can't miss more than 40 days. I was like, I think I'll miss 40 days in like 3 months or something like that. So I don't think I can. But, I mean, it's definitely helped. I'm able to practice when I want and do my school when I want to. So that was definitely nice having that flexibility.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of the guys and girls have chosen that route just with the freedom you guys have and the kind of being on court for 2 days and such. I mean, it's missing school. A lot of these schools aren't cool with that. But hopefully now with going online and things, I mean, I'm sure it'll have to change because just with the technology. But so, yeah, what has been your – like Texas, I'm sure has been an awesome experience. You guys are a really good team. But what is like so far, what has been like your favorite memory being a Longhorn in your freshman season?
There's so many.
Give me the top 3. Give me your top 3 that kind of stand out as like things that you don't think you'll forget, even no matter how old you are.
Top 3. I want to say, goodness gracious. I want to say when I first met the team in the fall, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm glad I came here in the end meeting this team. Number 2, I would say
before you move on, when did you realize that like you made a good decision? Like, was there a time where like, you met your teammates or your coaches, and it kind of like stood out like this is the right spot for me?
It's
going on, guys?
I want to say probably like the first week I got down to Austin, I realized, this is a great group of people I'm with. Not only that, the facilities and everything.
Yep.
And, with my goals and aspirations of going pro and being like able to leave to go to these tournaments, a lot of times other people don't like that on the team. And I've had the team's full support. And we all want each other to do the best, and no matter what we choose, like some of us aren't choosing the pro route. And we're like, we want you to do well in whatever you do. And I just love that environment because it's like we're all thriving off of each other.
That's really cool. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just had to, like, I feel like that everybody has that experience where like you kind of realize that this is kind of where you belong. What last two memories, did you have two others to kind of follow up? You were the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Was that a goal of yours coming into the season?
No, I didn't even know that was an award. In all honesty, it's really bad. But coming into college, I wasn't expecting a lot of this. In all honesty, I hadn't followed college tennis a whole lot. I didn't know a lot of people in college. I didn't train with a lot of like high-level college players. So, when they started giving out awards, I was like, all right. And then one of my teammates was like, you get a trophy. I was like, I get a trophy? I was like, okay. Like, I felt so bad. I was like, I didn't know this. And like, same with indoor nets. I was like, how does this thing work? How do we qualify? Like,
where's that hardware at right now?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Gotcha. That's funny. So you didn't even know you got a trophy. But I was looking at some of your stats. You were I know obviously singles is what you want to pursue long term, but you were 17-3 in doubles. Talk about just your doubles game. Did you work on doubles? In high school, do you enjoy doubles? Do you think it benefits your singles game? Just talk about your kind of thoughts on doubles in general.
Yeah, doubles has always been, I've always seen it as fun, like extremely fun, because you get another player on the court and you kind of like thrive off their energy. And down at Texas, Howard has been working a lot on my net game, and it's definitely improved. When I first started playing with Charlotte in the fall, and even a little bit at the beginning of the semester, we've had some rocky starts, getting like the little edges, sharpened. But we've definitely taken off since then. We had a rough doubles match against FSU the other day, but that's bound to happen every once in a while. But I think doubles is just excellent for the singles game. And I'm glad I get to play doubles and singles here in college, because you get to work on your serve, you get to work on your return. You also get to work on your stationary in the court, and you get to work on hitting the proper shots, exactly where you want them to. Because if you don't get that ball far enough across, that girl at the net is going to cross and boom, it's point over most likely. Or even the lobs as well. My lobs have gone so much better just because of when they go and I don't want to go line, I have to lob it. I'm forced to.
And I think that's really cool. Is the precision part of doubles. In singles, if someone has a big serve, you can kind of continental grip it and block it back, or whatever it takes to kind of put it in the court and make them play. But in doubles, if you just miss your target by a little bit, one poach away from the point being over. So it does make you kind of lock in on your return and kind of really do the little things well. And I think it helps me. It helped me with serving in college. Was just it's more spot serving. You take something off your serve probably and kind of try to make a lot of first serves, so your person at the net can be more engaged. And I always thought doubles was a lot of fun, just like you said, and all the things you said, it kind of helps for singles. I think that was really cool, seeing how good your record was and not probably coming in with a mindset of a lot of doubles training beforehand. But yeah, for you, what is the hard, pursuing this dream of yours, what is the hardest part of tennis for, is there anything, is it physical, is it mental, is it the daily grind? What is it? Just talk about kind of what you think is the hardest aspect of this.
For me, I want to say mental. I like to consider myself in pretty good shape. I just want to be out on the tennis court, for hours upon hours on day. I just love the sport. But I psych myself out a lot. I didn't realize I was this good probably until a couple years back, which is surprising to a lot of people. But it's I expect myself to do high things and everything to perfection. And, you know, when I miss one backhand cross, it's like, why are you missing? And then it just like goes downhill. So just getting over that mental hump of, you know, I am good. It is okay to miss. Like, I have to be kind to myself. Howard's helping me out with that. You know,
You
he's like,
strike me as a really confident person, so it's kind of a little surprising to hear.
apparently I've been told by other players that when I play them, after I hit winners or anything, it looks like I'm about to hop the net and go after them. And I'm like, no, like, I'm sorry, but that's not the intention. If anything, I'm like observing my shot and being like, that could have been better. It's nothing to do with you. Like, but, you know, Howard tells me all the time, you know, if you take your young self first starting off of tennis and you miss that backhand, you know, what are you going to tell them? Are you going to be like, you suck, or like, you know, okay, do this and it's fine. It's 1 point. And I've kind of taken that approach against Ohio State, you know, not taking away from the girl I played. She was playing out of her mind. But, you know, I just had a terrible day. I was getting very negative. I was getting on myself for missing, and that just brought more unforced errors upon unforced errors. And before we played FSU, I was kind of like, you know, like, just go out there and play. Like, you lose, but I'd rather go out swinging than coming out winning and not playing the way you want to. And I mean, you look at the score, and I just put a stomping on the girl because I was like, I missed one shot, and I was like, it's one shot. Like, I know I can make that shot. It's fine. So
Not many girls are going to out hit you anyway. I mean, there's a very few and far between a girl that has a bigger forehand. Well, I hope I didn't answer it for you, but what is your favorite shot in tennis?
forehand all the way. Probably say
Forehand, inside out, cross. What are we talking? Forehand where?
I like the inside out when I run around it and hit that heavy ball cross that generates the shorter forehand for me. So it's a like duo.
That 1-2 punch is tough. That's awesome. That's my favorite shot as well, I'd have to say. You talked about the mental aspect and how you were able to conquer that. What else do you feel like you were able to kind of grow this year at Texas as far as when it comes to tennis?
Game-wise, I want to say my backhand. You know, you watch me, and immediately everyone knows I have a good forehand. It's pretty obvious. But so a lot of times players hit my backhand. I mean, they have to. They pull me out on the backhand side and would try to get me on the run on the forehand. So I've worked on the backhand a lot, and it's become a weapon where I can do something with it to generate a forehand from it, where before I felt like it was more defensive or even just a neutral ball, like hitting in the cross courts, waiting to maybe get a forehand to go for, where now I'm able to hit a heavier ball or maybe like step in and bring it up the line. So, I mean, I think that's helped tremendously as well. I also want to say my slice, you know, sometimes when that ball gets lower, I'm able to just slice it up the line or even just chip it short and maybe try to bring them in so I can roll the forehand or even roll a backhand past them.
Having variety is huge these days, especially at the highest level. You see, like, everybody has a big forehand at the highest level. Everybody has a big serve, but, like, being able to use the different dimensions of the court and slow the pace down, change ball direction. But the variety seems to be taking over, and that's cool that you've kind of learned to adapt your game, and because your forehand probably isn't going to be leaving anytime soon. So I wanted to kind of talk about, I haven't tuned into all the matches, but, like, I figure the crowds down in USTA National Campus in Orlando, are they a lot more, is there a lot more people there than there were at matches throughout the year? Or what's the atmosphere like, and how was the atmosphere kind of throughout this year with kind of COVID and everything?
At the beginning of the year, we weren't allowed to have fans at our facility. It's kind of disappointing, you know, leading up to the indoor nats, you know, we didn't have anyone. Indoor nats even, there's like barely any fans, which is kind of crazy. And
has your family been able to come in?
They have, yes. They're actually here now, so they'll be watching tomorrow, and they watch Big 12s. But we allowed fans about midway through the year. Decent amount showed up. It wasn't crazy packed or anything, but it was enough to, like, bring the loudness and everything.
That stadium can hold some people. That stadium is awesome.
It really can. Yeah, it's great. But I mean, down here, we actually have a pretty strong fan base, you know, watching the guys, and it's just like you see a lot of burnt orange up in the stands, and same for the women's. And I don't know if that's just because the women's and men's are both still in, and I know more people from Austin are coming out here to watch, which is just great for both of us as the teams. But it's getting loud out here, you know.
I've been tuned in the last couple of days. It looks like amazing. I know they've had some technical difficulties with the live streams, but shout out to Tennis One app. We Tennis Point USA sponsor them. They've they do a lot of great work and just do a great job of promoting the game and helping the game grow. And I love that they're giving the spotlight to these college athletes that deserve it. Because, I mean, the atmosphere and the kind of energy that college tennis brings, I think, is huge for just tennis in general, because the team atmosphere is something that tennis needs. I think tennis can be a little isolating at times, especially in juniors, where you're traveling with your mom and dad or just one or the other and going from tournament to tournament, coming home, practicing for the week, and then heading back out. And, I mean, if you lose, it's like, yeah, it's just like you can get in a tough cycle mentally. How do you feel like you were able to kind of avoid because a lot of kids that I like, even coaching myself, I mean, a lot of these 10 and 11-year-olds, they get burnt out. Like, you go to these summer circuits and it can kind of grind you down. How are you able to kind of continue having fun with this sport and kind of always finding the push through to kind of get to that next level?
That's a tough question. As a junior, I was playing a lot of tournaments back to back to back to back. I never got injured, knock on wood. I know a lot of kids do because of that. But I want to say at times when, the results stopped showing after I was doing well for a while, or even I was just kind of getting in a slump, I feel like, take some time and go do some things you enjoy besides tennis. I feel like that's the biggest thing. So I've been out with about 2-3 injuries. First one was a stress fracture a couple of years ago. And, I just kind of took up some other things in the free time that I had. And I came back and I was just like ready to go. I was like thirsty for that tennis. I feel like sometimes when you have like an overload, it almost gets like, I have tennis, where like, you throw another thing in, like maybe one day you go paddleboarding or something like that. It's just like take a day off from tennis and you get back at it and you come back like hungrier than ever. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said that perfectly. It was just having those outlets that you can have fun doing is, I mean, I tell kids, like, the day you stop having fun with this sport is like the day you stop getting better. I mean, it's hard to get better if you're not enjoying yourself. What did I have here? Oh, yeah. So you said back in Austin, what are your favorite restaurants that you found in Austin? Like, if I'm coming down to visit me, we're coming down to visit for a match. Where's you're taking somebody to what spot?
All right. So we haven't been able to branch out as much just because of COVID. We've been very safe. But Cabo Bob's, it's like a Chipotle but Austin version. Always packed on the weekends. Line is out the door. Another little hidden gem is Sushi Junai. It's right off of campus. Best sushi, little hole in the wall. Line's out the door. I don't think what else. God.
Are you a foodie? It sounds like you had those to the top of your head. Those were quick.
See, one of my Kylie is the foodie, so she knows where to go. I just listen. Another one's Fresas. It's a Mexican place as well. And then Home Slice. It's on Congress and great pizza place. We sell pizza by the slice.
Future Texas recruits that may or may not be listening, we'll have to promote those spots. I totally missed on my question. I was talking about finding outlets. One of your outlets I've heard you talk about in the past was gymnastics. I just wanted to briefly bring that back up. What about gymnastics were you able to kind of take from and apply to your tennis game?
So much, honestly. As a gymnast, you have to be strong in literally everything, physically and mentally, especially mentally. When you're jumping from the low bar to the high bar, you can face plant, you can break your neck. You have to trust yourself. And I think that was a huge thing for me. Like, I just had the upper body strength, the core strength, and also just the mentality of like trusting myself. And I thought that was huge coming out of it as a young child. Like, even like when tennis and gymnastics kind of overlapped, it taught me a lot of different life lessons as well. And honestly, like, when I have kids one day, way down the line, I will definitely be putting them in gymnastics, because I think like you can come out of gymnastics and play any sport you want to. I
think when I watch the Olympics, like I do not miss gymnastics. I think some of the best athletes in this world are gymnasts, and especially like as far as the girls, is like the dexterity and the flexibility and the strength and just the mental toughness you have to have, like to conquer your fears probably on going for some of those things, is always amazed me. So I thought that was always really cool that you did that. And I remember somebody interviewed you in the last like month or two, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know she was a gymnast. And I think that's just a lot of these people that we get coaching are gymnasts or volleyball players, and I think just being a well-rounded athlete always helps. And when you stick to one sport, it can kind of be limiting, but coming from that background, I think is definitely beneficial. You gave us the best restaurants. What I gotta ask, is there anything about Cincinnati, right, like that you missed being away from home? But I know your family, I'm sure, is at the top of the list, but what else have you missed about the 513?
Grater's ice cream. 100%. You don't know how much I've been like looking forward to having black raspberry chocolate chip ice cream since I've left.
That's the go-to.
I have been hyping it up to this whole team, and they think I'm crazy. Like, no, it is the best ice cream you'll ever have.
No, it really is. And you'll even like I'll even hear people like from LA that do like radio and sports radio, and like they get it shipped to California. Like that's how you know it's the real deal. Like people always talk about Skyline here, but I'm like, nope, it's Grater's. Like
it's Grater's all the way.
I had a few of the good questions I think came from some people you might know on Instagram. We had the first question come in. Who is your favorite teammate? I can't tell you who asked it because I might make you lean one way. But who is your favorite teammate?
I'll find out who asked that question later. It's definitely not them. Whoever it is, it's putting on the spot. Oh goodness, I don't think I can give you an answer.
That's a lose-lose situation right there.
Yeah, it really is. I will be targeted in practice. We have this drill where one person's at the net, and the person behind you feeds them a short ball, and they hit it at you, so you expect the volley. I will be getting drilled in practice if I answer this question.
They're slapping balls at you next time they.
Yeah. So let's just say my favorite teammate. We'll go with Bevo, the Longhorn. You know, he's part of the team.
Nice. Next question I saw came in was, who is a big dog GG?
I'm a big dog.
I don't even know what that means, but I think that's an inside joke that we're going to have to just let it ride.
It is, yeah. It's a team inside joke. You know, we call each other big dogs. At first, it was kind of a joke, you know, like arf, like we're big dogs. And it kind of got more sincere as the year has gone on, you know, kind of like.
I've seen it on social media. I feel like you guys have been posting that as captions or something.
Yeah, it's kind of our thing, and we were like, well, let's hope we don't play Georgia because like we can't be like, let's go dog, like it just sounds wrong. But you know, we're kind of like, you know, we're like up there, you know, we're good, we deserve this, we should be going after, like we should be sticking our chest out a little bit.
For sure, I think that's what other athletes and other fans relate to is like just the intensity and the competitiveness that this team has. I mean, you watch some of the highlights and some of like the celebrations you guys have, like. You guys are all in. It's like, and I think that's what's really cool to watch. I had a few quick hitting questions just to kind of finish up. I don't want to steal too much of your time as you're prepping for the big Final Four, but one thing I always like to ask is, first off, what racket do you use?
I use the Wilson Blade.
Will you give away what you have in there? What string do you use and any other details, or is that all the secret sauce?
No, I can spill. I use the Lux Long Big Banger. I've been using it probably for the past 6 years. It's a great string. And for the racket, I will say I have some specs on it. It's a little heavier than the original blade, but I've been using the blade also for the past 5-6 years. And I mean, I'm just
What did you have before the blade?
I used the Head Radical. And then before that, I don't know the name of it, but it was a Prince racket. And it was yellow and black.
What led you change it from the Radical to the blade?
I want to say I realized I had a bigger frame at that time with the Head Radical. And, you know, I was recommended that maybe I try something different. And I kind of fell in love with the leaner looking rackets. I felt like the head was kind of thicker. And I just tried out the Wilson Blade. And I was like, this is it. You know, I'm feeling it with this one. I'm curious to see if you like the new look on the blade that's going to come out here soon. Another question I had a quick hit was, do you have any routines on match day? Like, are there any superstitions or routines that you have to do? Yeah, I feel like my routines have definitely changed being with a team. It's hard to do individual routines by myself. Mm-hmm. Just saying, one of the routines we have right now before a match, we sing this song called Have It All. I think it's probably going to be really weird, like, hearing this, but, you know, just if you look at the lyrics, like, it's kind of meaningful, and it honestly, like, it kind of makes you tear up when you sing it because it's like our coach recommended it to us and we kind of get in our feels and then we play like some like Nicki Minaj after and get hyped. But like, you know, before the matches, I'll wake up. I'm a big caffeine person, have to have caffeine in the morning. What does that mean? Does that mean coffee or does that mean an energy drink or does that mean like a Bang energy or what are we talking about? It's a Diet Coke. Diet Coke? Come on, stop it. Yeah, I've been ripped on that forever, but that's my caffeine right there.
Yeah, that's funny.
Have that.
That is so funny. Diet Coke. We'll finish up here with, do you like doing media? That's one question. Do you like doing talking with media, interviewing, whatever? Do you enjoy it?
I love it, honestly. I think I use it as a way of like branching out to different people. I think it's really cool how the sport can connect so many people with like such a little game. You know, it's so much more than just the court itself.
For sure. For sure. What question do you wish I would have asked you that I did not?
Um, Probably ask me if we're gonna win this thing.
That's a good question right there. Are you guys taking home the national championship?
We are. We plan on it. We're ready.
I think that's awesome that there's this, like, the confidence that you guys have is, I mean, I don't think I had to ask that question because I think that answer was going to be said without even being spoken, which is, I think, is awesome. Just kind of goes to the work you guys put in. You guys believe in the work and are kind of in Orlando to get one thing. And I know I'm rooting for you guys. I'll be watching on Friday. And yeah, is there any other people you need to shout out on here as we wrap this thing up?
I'll say hi to my brother because I know he's definitely watching. So what's up, Preston?
Oh yeah, what's going on, Preston? He's training out at Riverside with Jimmy Brandon. Going to do big things. So Peyton, a lot of fun here chatting with you. I will be in touch with you hopefully after you guys win the national championship, and we'll have to get a reaction. But yeah, I know the Tennis Point family, formerly Midwest Sports, is rooting for you and proud as a Cincinnati and is doing big things on the big stage. And yeah, I appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.